All right, all right, all right. Welcome in. Baseball After Dark. Haven't done one of these in a long time, but it was necessary today. Had stuff going on, so couldn't do the show at the normal time, which actually kind of worked out because nothing happened between Monday and Wednesday, and then today finally we do get this trade. Cabrera goes to the Cubs, so at least we have some place to start today, some place to do a little digging, a little investigating, take a look at the return. Going back to Miami, look at the diversity that this provides in the rotation for the Cubs, and I don't know, just take a peek at the move overall. But I hope everybody's good. We are not going coffee, obviously, because it's 9 o'clock at night. So I have a little cocktail here, and we're just going to keep it moving. Hope everybody's good. Good evening to everybody. All right, so let's get this in. So everybody knows, obviously, by now, Edward Cabrera officially traded to the Cubbies. Looks like a pretty good haul, in my opinion, but we'll get into that in a minute. Right now, on the roster resource on Fangraphs, they have him as the number 2 pitcher, Matthew Boyd, Edward Cabrera now, Cade Horton, Shota Imanaga, and Jameson Taillon. So this is like a interesting, it's a pretty good group. Especially if you buy into what Cade Horton did in his rookie year, when on a run value per 100 basis, he was probably the most successful of this 5. So now they go in and they get Cabrera. Cabrera's got some team control, so they're going to have him for a little while. He's exceptionally affordable right now. Philip picking up on that right now. 3 full years of control. This is a power move by the Cubs. I really like it. They're giving up on Owen Casey, so that's a big move. This guy was excellent in AAA last year. Has a small sample in the big leagues, so we'll get into him in a minute. But just from the looks of it, what kind of presentation is this Cubs rotation at the moment? 3 righties, 2 lefties. So among the righties, Horton's like a little cut fastball type of guy with some gyro slider pitches. Cabrera, we all know he's changeup and curveball, basically. 2 elite off-speed pitches. And then JMO's more of like, I'm not going to walk you, 2 fastballs. Kind of more, I mean, I don't want to call him a stock righty. He's not a stock righty. He's exceptionally good at doing the usual stuff. So they have 3 different righties, which I like. And then they have 2 very different lefties, obviously. Boyd has a little bit of a HAA thing going on, a little bit of a different arm slot, a bunch of stuff there. And then Shota, we all know what he can do. They're actually paying Shota a ton of money this year to pitch this year. And, he would have been the number 1 all the way up until probably the last 2 months of the season where he got tallywhacked pretty good. But I don't know. Pretty good move by the Cubs. This is also a good comment as well by Philip here, back to back. Steele will be back in the summer too, Justin Steele. So, they've done some things with this pitching staff to support what's a very good offense. This might be a sneaky good little offseason by the Cubs. They could finish it off with one more big move. I don't know if they will, if they're gonna do that. But I mean, just alone this offseason, Phil Maton, Hunter Harvey, they bring back Thielbar, Webb, Imanaga is retained, Cabrera now. This is a big move, this Cabrera move, if you're buying into it. He's got number 1 upside, and he was pretty damn good last year. We looked at him on the last stream. He might be worth looking into again, obviously. But I don't know. I think in the Central, this is a better rotation than what Milwaukee's got at the moment, and Milwaukee might be trading away Freddie, Brandon, Woodruff, Mizorowski, Priester, Patrick. I mean, they hang with them for sure with the top 3 there. If not, that's probably a better top 3 than what the Cubs have in a lot of ways. More upside, maybe. Yeah. Priester, I don't know if you buy into what he did last year or not. He was pretty good, though. And then Chad Patrick's a bit of an unknown still. So I think you got to give the Cubs the nod in that department. I don't know if they can be better than the Pirates, though. I'm just trying to think, does this make them the best rotation in the Central? Skeens, Keller, Ashcraft, Chandler, Mlodzinski. There's a lot of question marks here, but this is a ton of talent, too. So, I mean, Skeens is like almost worth 2 pitchers. That's how good he is. So this is interesting. This is interesting. All right, Bader a fit with the Cubbies, perhaps? Yeah, so now that they moved on from Casey, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I definitely was saying Cassie for a while. Now that they've moved on from him, you can see the mix has changed a little bit. Scott Kingery is now a projected guy to make the bench as an NRI. They have a need for a platoon partner, probably something pretty straightforward here. Let's see. Seiya. So you'd like to have a left-handed swinger, but then again, maybe somebody for defense. Bader would make a lot of sense for defense. Obviously, he's not going to play center every day, and I think that's what he's looking for right now is to play every day, and that's going to be tough here in the outfield. PCA, Seiya, and Happ are pretty locked in, so I'm not sure about Bader. But yeah, back to what I was thinking about for a minute with the rotations here in the Central. I mean, the Reds also is pretty strong, to be honest with you. Hunter Green, Andrew Abbott, Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo, Chase Burns. There's some really fun rotations in this division. I expected this to be a fairly easy exercise without really thinking it through. And now looking at it now, I mean, obviously the Pirates are what they are, headlined by Skeens, and then you got Bubba Chandler, there's potentially something. Getting Keller back. Jones back. Keller's already very good. So that's an interesting one. But this one, Hunter Green, who's been as good as anybody the last, 300 innings he's pitched. Andrew Abbott was in the All-Star game. Singer, I feel like we kind of know what he is now. Nothing wrong with it, though. Lodolo has big upside, and so does Chase Burns. We don't know enough about how he'll actually be as a starter, but wow, they have some potential too. So, it's funny. Milwaukee's kind of owned this division, but I like a lot of these other starting rotations. All right, back to the Cubbies for a sec. Yeah, so they're going to need to do probably. I don't know much about Kevin Alcantara. I'd like to know more about him, perhaps. But Casey was a big piece. Let's go. He was in our top 100 prospects when we were doing this a ways back. I might have to reload this page. I believe he was in here. Yeah, here he is. So here's what it says on him. He did get a little bit of a cup of coffee. It sucks that I don't have this one thing built that I want to build for the season. We'd be able to watch all his at-bats really fast, but I guess I got to go through the research tool a little bit. We could take a peek at him in the big leagues, see what we feel like we see. It's probably not going to be a whole lot of sample. But anyway, scouting grades, 45. He's another one of these, just so you know, as we head into this. He's a guy who's like a big power, but also lots of troubling swing and miss. Did hit for a pretty high average in AAA, though. All right, 45 hit tool, 60 power. That's what I'm talking about. 50 runner, so average runner, 60 arm, 50 fielder, overall 55 for that upside with that power. Highest drafted Canadian outfielder ever. Casey signed with the Pods for $1.2 million. That's a 45th overall pick in 2020, but he never played a single game in the org. They dealt him with 3 other prospects and Zach Davies to get Yu Darvish and Victor Caratini from the Cubbies that December. He has handled aggressive assignments very well. And he's hit 41 home runs over the past 2 seasons, and he's one of the youngest players in AAA. So that's very good. So they're projecting him for 30 or more homers, but 29% strikeout rate. So, that's it's just, what adjustments is he going to make to be able to tap into the raw ability, which is always the question. And looking at the other prospects that they got too, and most teams are going to do this now. They're looking to grab some raw ability and then see what they can do in their development from there. These were his stats. First let's look at the AAA stats. I'll talk about that first. He did hit 286 this year, 28 doubles, 22 home runs. He's got some walks in his game, but nothing crazy. Daisy's sleeping right now. She's got to get her rest. So, but yeah, very cute. We'll get her on the stream. She'll be on Baseball and Coffee on Friday, I'm sure. And then in the big leagues, he gets 26 at-bats, 5 hits, 1 double, 1 dinger, 1 walk, 11 punchalos. All right, maybe we should do a little recon A little bit of recon here for a moment on Mr. Casey. We did a lot on Cabrera yesterday, so we kind of know what he's bringing to the table to change up the curveball, how they're going to affect the fastball, how they're going to fix maybe not fix it, but something of that nature. I don't think I spelled that wrong. There we go. Yeah, there's an early I in there. Very early I. Yeah, we need a play log. Time frame 2025. All right, this is all his at-bats. So he got to face some good guys. All right, here we go. Yeah, mini golden doodle. Very calm. Very very cuddly. Very much the right speed for what we need right now. And the kids are really happy, so I think it's going to be good. On the dog front, I can see that. I feel like Brett's handling that in the chat. There's a question here. Intriguing question. What's the word on the Cubs' strength and conditioning and medical staff and their ability to keep players healthy? And you think that factored into the trade at all? Yeah, because Cabrera has had a number of arm issues, I guess, over the years. But I don't know. I don't know the answer to this. I've heard nothing but good things about the Cubs in general. They have supposedly a legendary traveling secretary who handles everything and is the best liaison to have. But I do think that I've heard good things. I certainly haven't heard anything negative. So I don't know. Some teams definitely are more confident than others in their medical staff, and I think that can be a factor when acquiring a player that has some level of injury risk. If you feel like you have expertise in that area, specifically. Got the debut in Toronto and got robbed first pitch. That I remember. Okay, so here he is. Yeah, we'll speed watch him. We're not going to watch every pitch, so let's just go to the decision pitches here. All right, his major league debut, he's facing Mad Max in a day game here. Oh, that's a pretty good swing. So to his point, he gets robbed right here. To Omar's point. Yeah, there it is. Totally spot on. So that was a nice swing. Mad Max little misses out over. Goes with it. Very upright in that stance. And then, yeah, Schneider. Schneider laying out, which he looked like he was playing in and over for some reason, but that was the first one. Here is number 2. This time gets up in on him. Looked annoyed that he missed that on a 1-1. Got above the barrel here. So, the early read from Toronto initially when they went at this guy is let's attack him with fastball up. I bet you that's probably coming out of that strikeout rate in AAA. They probably saw some in-zone miss on 4-seam or something. I'd have to look at his bat tracking metrics. But anyway, he gets beat there. All right, next AB. This one's also versus Max. 3-2 count. Ooh, very hittable pitch there. Oddly got kind of jammed and then punches it out to left. So all 3 at bats versus Max. He hits the ball in the air to left field. This is a pitch. There's a question here from Philip in the chat. In my mind, this is a pitch that he should be pulling. This one, maybe not the one before it necessarily, because I didn't see all the pitches leading up to it. But this one, this is a spinner in the middle. This is what you want as a hitter. But he kind of I don't know, kind of just punches it out there. So not his best pass there. All right, now we're gonna get Hoffman. He's gonna strike him out on a split here. 0-2 count, so in the driver's seat. Pretty bad chase there, way off the plate there. So I'm not sure what the chase rate looks like in the minors, but obviously that wasn't a very good chase there. Ball's pretty much a ball out of the hand. All right, now Chase Shugart. 0-1 count here. Wow, interesting. He's very, like, kinda cuts himself off a bit with his swing from what I can see here. I don't know, just kind of abnormal a little bit, but, like, the two-hand finish, like, doesn't allow himself to kinda one-hand it and get long through it, if that makes sense, but also this would be a pitch that most lefties crush. It is a ball, but he kinda, like, slices interesting the way he slices off it makes me think his swing wasn't grooved at this moment. Kinda not getting the barrel in the right spot. Alright, now Freddie Peralta is gonna punch him out twice. Let's see if they're high fastballs, I would imagine. Nope, changeup. So this is gonna be a second punch out on a changeup or split. That's what. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's watch that again. All right, what's the count here? 2-2. And yeah, he just thought that was a fastball for a while. That's a really, I mean, obviously that's a good pitch. Right below the zone. See you later. It's funny, you get to the big leagues, and it really doesn't matter what team you are on, what division you're in. You're going to run into some filthy freaking pitchers really fast. Ooh, kind of a bad chase in a big spot here. So 3-2. 3-2, 1 out. Down 1. Peralta goes changeup here off the plate away, and he ends up doing like just a pretty bad chase. Also, his weight was kind of looks like it's kind of pulling him away. I see that he's a redhead, which I guess in the old days they'd probably really doubt you because of that. But I mean, who cares? It's off the plate away ball. So that wasn't a good chase. So we've seen him chase 2 changeups off the plate away so far. All right, here comes a couple hits. Who's he facing here? Abner Uribe. So this is a very hard throwing sinker slider pitcher. There's that sinker. And this time he does the same thing. He punches it, but he keeps it more on a line. I bet you hit that ball pretty hard. 99. 99 at 12. But that pitch was 100 miles an hour. So this time the little short stroke two-hand finish really works. You can see, though, he's a big dude. Maybe his power when he's right really works well to the opposite field. It wouldn't surprise me based on what I'm seeing so far. Okay, here's a single off of Chad Patrick, pitcher we actually, briefly mentioned because he's penciled in as the 5 starter right now for the Brew Crew, who drops the head on that sinker down in. That's what I expected. That's also the first ball we've seen him get the head out on and actually pull. Definitely looks like a low ball hitter to me, though. So you're going to get him to chase below the zone, but if you make mistakes in the zone bottom, yeah, I mean, that's my guess. Definitely likes to hit the sinker. Both of these hits are off of sinkers, right on left sinkers. 91-8 didn't hit that terribly hard, but did get the head out on it. All right, he's going to get out on a changeup here. So it looks like the righty approach so far in the early going is 4 seams up and then utilize changeup, and he will chase off the plate away. Another changeup that he just kind of punches the other way right to him. So I mean, I don't dislike that he's willing to use the whole field. I could see him having plus pop to the other side, but we just don't know yet. All right, here's the home run. Yeah, it's Oppo. Shelby Miller 4-seam right down the middle, but not high enough. And I think that's probably why he's a prospect right there. The ability to punch balls out into the Oppo gap for homers. Ultimately, that's a tough thing to do. So he's a big guy with some easy power. Looks like the game plan, though, is to go fastball up and then definitely change up as well. So I'd love to see the bat tracking numbers on him, which I'm going to look at in a second, because people are. I did notice this on the internet today. There's a Stowers comparison. But for me, a big hallmark of Stowers' profile, at least that I've been looking at, is combination of above average bat speed with a very short swing length. To my naked eye, this swing looks short, but that's not always the case when you actually measure it. So let's take a 2-second detour to look at that and answer this question as best as we can. All right, so we need bat tracking. This is the one with swing length, yep. And then minimum total swings, let's just do 5. I know he has more than that, but whatever. And then don't forget the eye. There he is. Okay, so yeah. Well, right off the gate, right off the bat, just looking at it, above average bat speed, 74.8 mile an hour bat speed. That's comfortably above average. And then the swing length, 6.9. I believe that's a little bit on the short side now. I could be completely wrong now, but let's go check. Yeah, the low end, the high end is in the 8s, the low end is in the 6s. I think I have a league average button here to hit. Yep, toggle MLB average 7.3. So yeah, from that standpoint, that's very apt. That's very apt. Yeah, above average bat speed, so above average pop with a short swing. That's a good combination to be good against velocity. And if you can learn kind of how to leverage that with the proper bat path, you might be able to cover the top of the zone better than other guys. That could be something he could progress into. Anyway, let's watch this home run again because this is an interesting little just little punchy swing, but it's from a big man. Interesting two-hand finish too. I'm wondering if he had some sort of shoulder injury in the past. Also, if you can even see when he jogs here, this is very rudimentary, but even just looking at how the uniform drapes on this dude, he's strong. I bet you he's Canadian country strong. Like this man chopped logs or something. So good place to be. Baseball and cocktails. Looking at Savant's search, I think his minor league chase was about 25%. Interesting. Is Daisy crying? I don't know. I have both doors closed, but I could check. Let me check for a sec. Nope, not crying. Not crying. Am I crazy, or does he look a lot like Kyle Tucker with that swing and jog? You know, I would agree that Kyle Tucker also has an odd swing, but Tuck has much, like his hands are way further back, and it's a more scoopy swing. I think I'm actually fascinated now to look at Casey's tilt and attack angle and all that. It's definitely going to be to opposite field. We're gonna have to look at the other leaderboard, but just really quick. All right, nothing great there. But if I go to this one, I don't know why I'm doing 5, but I'm doing 5. Just noisy children. Sorry, babe. Okay, and then we want KC. All right, so here we go. Swing path tilt, 35 degrees, so a little bit more scoopy than league average, which is honestly, if it's not too much, I don't mind it because it's going to get him to hit fly balls. Attack angle, 8 degrees. So interesting. That's not necessarily great. Despite being a little bit of a tilted swing, he still tends to chop a little bit at the ball, which is kind of what it looks like. Attack direction, 1 degree pull, which actually shocks me, but we'll continue to watch him. We're giving this guy a lot of run here, but I'm curious because they're getting 6 years of control on him, and he's ultimately the piece that pried him free pried Cabrera free when you know a lot of other people were probably in on this pitcher in 3 years of control. You know, Yankees, Mets, etc. There's some others that probably would have been interested in this dude. Depth in the box, so it looks like he's pretty deep, pretty far off the plate. None of that really matters, but I was curious to see that. So it's a little scoopy, but he's not quite getting to the perfect attack angle that he would probably want to match that. But yeah. Oh yeah, Tyler O'Neill. He's actually like, his dad was like Mr. Canada, like until like the you know, like the world championships of bodybuilding. So anyways, okay, back to Casey. We just saw the home run. All right, he's gonna strike out on a split here. So yeah, I mean, definitely the righties, it's looking like fastball up, changeup or split down is kind of the play. This time the actual hand actually came off of the bat. So yeah, definitely struggling to recognize in the early going. I mean, this is obviously all completely unfair, but the right-handed changeup or split in the big leagues. This is Woodruff's going to be hit on a four seam. Yeah, so you can see the way his swing, even though he wants to, so it's kind of a double. Okay. Can I get this view? Yes, 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 yes. All right, so he gets Scoopy with the body and the shoulders, but the hands don't match that exactly right, and they look a little choppy to me. And this isn't like a bad thing. Like, this is kind of like a happy accident that you're gonna get with this type of swing a lot, where you're kind of beat, you're kind of jammed, but you get enough on it to kind of like flick it out into left center, like into left field for a hit. If you hit these balls a little too hard, they're gonna be outs because you're not gonna hit a home run with this type of swing on a pitch inside. So, but if you get beat enough, you're gonna get a lot of free hits also. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's good and bad depending on how consistent you are at making it the good kind and not just the lazy fly ball kind. He's identical to Carter Jensen in terms of bat speed and swing length, and Carter Jensen's been projected very well when you're looking at just some of the metrics, underlying metrics, bat tracking, um, as well as swing metrics, as well as some in zone, out of zone metrics as well, some stuff like that. Basically, quality of at bat. All right, now he's going to get out on a changeup here from Woodruff. Yeah, just way out front on almost every changeup we've seen or split from a righty. Now, a lot of them have been quality pitches, but definitely seeing that so far. He's going to walk here off Mizorowski. I don't know if this is a 3-2 or a tough take or anything. Let's see. Pretty easy take. That ball popped pretty high out of the hand. And now he's going to punch him out on a changeup. So the Miz gets him on a changeup. So, I mean, it's crazy, though. All you got to do is watch a handful of at-bats, and you see pretty quickly, you know, what the game plan is. Like, if I've never faced this guy and I'm looking through his previous at-bats, I mean, it's pretty obvious what has worked so far and what to stay away from. So you just file that away. I mean, you still have to pitch to your strengths always, but you just file that away. All right, Abner Uribe. So this is him facing him again. Sinker, field out. It's really the first ground ball we've seen him hit on a fastball. Just kind of chopped this sinker into the ground. So what a great outcome for the pitcher there on the first pitch, probably of the ninth. And then he's going to get him again, another first pitch. Got it to the bottom of the zone and got him to chop it out. So he's put 3 sinkers in play versus Uribe and gotten out twice and gotten a hit once. I just feel like they're going to see a lot of each other. I mean, I guess maybe not as much now that he's in Miami, but he wants the sinker a little more medium height. Four seam he wants a little lower, I think, to mess with his swing plane. Okay, here's a double on a changeup. This is the first time we're going to see him get a hit on a changeup. Yeah, and he just doesn't get it down enough. Carson Fulmer. So that's the first time he stayed on a changeup. Okay. And then, well, this is versus a position player, so we can skip that. And then he's going to punch out a couple times in a row here. Okay, Ryan Walker. I don't know if he's ever faced Ryan Walker before, but it can be difficult. High sinker to punch to end the game. That's kind of like a low slot upshoot sinker thing. Man, it's a fine line between clobbered and missed, huh? God, he just misses that, but he does. He's under it. And then Tristan Beck's going to get him with a slider. So this is like, we haven't seen a lot of breaking balls, really. Yeah, weird pitch. Nothing to learn there. High slider now, and then Logan Webby's going to get him twice with changeups. So I do still think this is the method thus far. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now that it looks like he's going to get everyday play in Miami, I'm going to see how he fits in with that lineup. They're going to let him ride, and I think they're going to move Stowers to left. So Casey will play right. He's got a good arm. That's not a strike. It's actually a pretty good take. Two more. Logan Webb on a sinker, field out. Little front door sinker, first pitch. Again, I think his swing is a little punchy, and I think he gets weird contact up and in as well. And then Rasmussen's going to wipe him out twice. Okay, we don't have any video of that. And, oh, we got one of these. Rizzo in the booth. Yeah, and that's just a devastating back footer. This is the pitch I would have loved to have had versus lefties because, look, I mean, it's just devastating. But I never had that, really. I mean, maybe early, but never 90 miles an hour. So, all right. So that's all. That's it, and that's all. We watched Owen Casey face, honestly, all righties. I don't think he got a lefty. And he still struggled. He's supposed to smash these guys. But again, it's funny. You get to the big leagues. And these are the pitchers that you're tasked with your first run through, right? Max Scherzer, Hall of Famer, obviously he's old. Jeff Hoffman, closer. Freddie Peralta, ace. Abner Uribe, ace reliever. Shelby Miller, like former top prospect who's still effective for a number of reasons. Jacob Mizorowski, my God. Brandon Woodruff, basically an ace or a number 2 for his career. I mean, whatever. It's semantics. Really good pitcher, major leaguer. Ryan Walker, closer, bullpen ace type guy. Logan Webb, ace. Drew Rasmussen, like a number 2. So it just shows you there's no escaping it. He's going to face tons of dudes like this. Oh, did I find my glove? Well, I didn't really look that hard, to be honest with you, but I have a bunch of them, but it might take a minute for me to go run and get it. I wonder if there's one in here. I feel like I would have a glove in here. Shelby Miller reverse slits, 4-seam split. Crazy low. I mean, Shelby used to bang his knee on the ground like Tom Seaver style when he would release it. All right, so I mean that was a funny little deep dive on Owen Casey's at bats in the big leagues. Obviously, he had a lot more success in the minors, and he didn't get any lefties there. Now he's going to get some lefty if he's playing every day. So let's go hit the Marlins depth chart. And now, I mean, dude, we've done 34 minutes on this trade so far. Okay. So, yeah, they have him penciled in as the right fielder. He'll be the pup of this team, which is saying something because this is a young team, 23.5 years old at the current moment. Marcy, Edwards, Stowers, Ramirez, Conine, Lopez, Casey, Norby, Pauly. It's not without some interesting, potential. And he's going to get a big opportunity, but he's going to be in the big bad NL East. He's going to face a lot of good pitchers. He's not playing in necessarily the best ballpark to hit in, although, I don't know. It's interesting. His power's to left center. How did Marlins Park play this past couple years? I feel like it always plays big, but at the same time, where's the fish? Wow, 7th best for hitting over the rolling past 3 years, that's very much surprising to me. Let's see. I mean, it's all kind of gradual things, but it's 118 for triples, which surprises me. 107 for doubles, 104 for singles, 103 for hits in general. So I guess there's a lot of BABIP out there. Must be the turf. Must be the turf. This is for the Marlins. This is good. Yeah, I can go through it with you. Trade, 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 waivers, trade, trade, trade. Holy cow, you're not kidding. That's insane. Just got here. Can I get a quick summary? Well, we haven't gotten very far. We've just been stuck on Edward Cabrera, basically for Owen Casey. We watched all of Owen Casey's result pitches from his at-bats. We noticed that he basically got attacked by four-seam fastballs and changeups. That worked really well. Sinkers were kind of hit or miss. He could hit those. Has an interesting swing. He's a big dude. We're learning about him, but he's going to play every day on the Marlins. That's where we're at. Marlins, yeah, I mean, it's not without some interesting guys. They did just really, really hurt their right now pitching staff with Cabrera being gone. Now they're kind of left with this Sandy, Yuri, and then a very interesting trio here, to be honest with you. Ryan Weathers, Max Meyer, and Braxton Garrett. I really like Braxton Garrett as a pitcher. He's good. He's really good at pitching. Like I've seen him just dice up the Metros before. I've been right there in the dugout, like, man, this guy's executing pitches, big time. So, big fan of Braxton Garrett. I know he's been injured, but he's coming back. And then they also have the big dude coming, Thomas White. So I don't know. Maybe they felt like they didn't need him, and they needed to take a shot offensively a little more with Casey, and that's the bet they're making. We went over him a little bit on this thing. I'm curious if I can find anything on like TJ's stats. He tends to have some fun minor league pages. Is that it? Maybe it's here. Fuck. We'll just start there. Anyway, prospects, top 100. Here we go. Here's TJ's stats. So let's go here. Sell high on a pitcher with injury issues. I guess that's probably the straightforward answer of why they would do it. I mean, the injury part of it's probably more of it. Anyway, let's see what TJ Stats has to say here. And now we get some percentages at the AAA level. So it's a 937 OPS, 5 steals, so it's not a huge part of his game. 13.2% walk rate is very, very good. 27.9% strikeout rate's too high. 28.3% whiff rate, probably too high. But 61% in the air. 46% swing, so that's a bit above average, I believe. Just a touch. Owen Casey was one of the most destructive prospects in 2025, 22 home runs. So 107.6, 90th percentile exit velocity. So that's plus bat speed, elite barrel rates. So for a while, they thought he was going to be a first baseman. But inability to hit spin. So we didn't see any of that because, well, first of all, we didn't let him see any left on left. But we did see Rasmussen wipe him out with a breaking ball one time. We just saw a lot of changeup and four-seam up. So 42% whiff rate on spin. And, in the big leagues, you're going to see an awful lot of that. So, interesting. You have to go to his apps for the full chart. That's right. This guy's got a whole bunch of them. MLB and MILB StatCast summaries. AAA. So here's the Casey minor league one. Yeah, I mean, this is good. I'm glad we're using this a little bit. This is solid stuff, 385 on base. Hey, I mean, Fangraphs is not as high on him. They have future value 45, although they tend to be a little down on everybody because they're so process driven with some of their grading systems that it's like, I don't know, the standard's really high at times. Pull air 52%. So obviously he could pull the ball a little more in the air, but he he shows an ability to go oppo with the power. I just thought his swing was a little weird. Zone contact not like unworkable. Yeah, so 36th percentile. I mean, yeah, it's not like the very bottom of the barrel, but I think that speaks to the length of his swing, and I think that's something that I was encouraged by looking at the bat tracking data is just the swing is a little bit on the short side, which I think if anything, like that's a good thing. You're gonna have the little better, you can cover up some of your swing path flaws by being a little quicker to the ball, and that'll help you with velocity, which obviously the big leagues has a lot of. So, it's a big challenge to hit, but I don't know. It's a profile that I think leaves you a little less exposed. If you have a long swing and that zone contact rate's even lower than that, you're just a sitting duck against a lot of the guys with this stuff. They're just going to attack you and they're going to just blow your doors off. All right, so we really dug in on him pretty hardcore. There was a more about the who else was in this trade. There was another prospect in the trade. Yeah, Christian Hernandez and Edgardo De Leon. So these are two other guys they have. They're minor league lottery tickets. Christian Hernandez, Edgardo De Leon. So I think, did these already probably switch over to Marlins people really fast? Yeah, they did. That's unbelievable how fast. Some of these sites are really fast, though. So here's Christian Hernandez. They just got him. All right, let's read the bio on this cat. Hit 50, power 45, run 55, arm 55, field 50, overall 45. Hernandez generated as much hype as anyone in the 2020-21 international class, drawing physical comparisons to A-Rod and Machado, so that's a monster. Signed for $3 million. So why is he not higher? $3 million sign, physical comps to A-Rod and Manny. Kidding me? So he's struggling with quality fastballs, but steals a lot of bases. Okay. Huh. Interesting. I mean, big time guy. Initially. This is probably going to take me to an ad for a minute, so we'll sit here for a sec. I see Michael Lorenzen to the Rockies. Is that just happened? Wow. Look at the Rockies doing some stuff. I saw there was some rumor mill talk about them being interested in some veteran pitchers. Interesting. I'll be curious what they're paying him. All right, here we go. I mean, that's an Oppo Taco. So Oppo Taco. That was a good swing. I could see the body comp right there, to be honest with you. Totally. Yeah, I saw that. That's what I think I saw. I think I read about that. So, okay. Anyway, that's the other main prospect. The other one's even further away. He's like a Dominican Winter League guy. I don't think he even made the list here. Wait. What was his name? Edgardo De Leon. Yeah, I don't think he makes the list. But he's another baseball player. So they got 3 baseball players, two prospects. One's that's going to be in the team. Marlins I'm talking about with Casey, and now Christian Hernandez, who actually, I don't know, just on the surface of things, 6'2", 175. Maybe that body hasn't developed quite yet, but he looked pretty big there with that Oppo home run. Anyway, not important. Let's go now to this Michael Lorenzen situation. That's real, huh? Is that real? Do I have to refresh? Will that come up on here? Well, I guess we'll wait. But we already got salary details. Lorenzen 1 for 8 plus $9 million team option. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what his other options were like. He's just crazy enough to sign for the Rockies and feel good about it. Like, he's an extremely hard worker. If you watch his some of his content that he puts out there, he's got like a crazy gym that he built at his house, I guess, somewhere in California. It's got a mound in there. There's turf. He's doing all sorts of insane workouts. I mean, he's obviously, I used to think his arms were too big to even pitch, but not the case. He's been churning it out. He's actually stayed healthy really well the last few years too, which used to be an issue, maybe a little more. And you know, this would be an interesting, funny idea. He can also kind of rake. And since Philip confirmed that Jeff has it, I mean, I guess it's real. So, okay, well, without getting too far into the weeds here, it's not going to be on this list yet because it's not announced, but you're going to put a veteran in here. So good for them. Good for them. You know, Freeland, Dolander, who we've talked about a bit on here. Tanner Gordon was sneaky pretty good. Feltner, and then Senza. So Senza might be off the team pretty fast. One of my favorite teammates, but he looked pretty washed last year. It'll be interesting to see what this all means. And I think they might sign another guy, but Rockies are trying to do some things. They see value in this veteran, so he's going. He's going, baby. Two-way Rocky. Everybody's onto this. He did bang. I mean, two-way player in college. Got quite a few at-bats at a time for the Reds. All right, biceps man, Mr. Michael Lorenzen. And really, I feel like that's a little bit insulting. He's a lot more than just biceps. This guy's absolutely cock diesel all around, and really dynamic athlete. So, anyway, this was the season last year for the Royals. 7-11, 4.64, 27 games, 26 starts. Did pitch 141 and 2/3, 127 strikeouts, 1.33 WHIP. He's never been a darling of these metrics. Like, he's not a big strikeout guy. Very much a pitch to contact guy, innings eating type of guy. Type of guy that's becoming more extinct as they get into their 30s. But I do think that there's always been intrigue with him because of his physical condition. And, you know, the Rockies, beggars can't be choosers at times. And so, I don't know, this could be a good marriage. We'll see. He's going to try to pitch to contact the cores. That's going to be interesting. One thing that I do like is the amount of pitch mix. I do think if you're going to pitch a cores and you're going to have muted movement, really good idea is to throw as many pitch types as possible and just don't give any chance of predictability and try to get off that barrel as best as you can. Try to keep the ball on the ground as much as you can. I know it's hard to do if your sinker shape's getting muted, but keep the ball on the ground. At least they're not going over the fence, you know, or in the gaps where people can run for days. So that's my initial thought on that. It's Zed, finally able to catch one of these. I'm from Hawaii. Oh, Hawaii. Aloha. So I'm always just watching the entirety of the replay during work. Super excited to be able to join live. Well, thank you. We're happy to have you. This is a little abnormal. We haven't done any baseball after darks in a long time. But we do them during the season, typically on Saturdays, and then a little more in the postseason, and other times when life gets in the way of the morning show. So very excited to have you here. Sleeveless Reds jersey, Lorenzen and Fam was great. You know who else it was? It wasn't Fam. It was Derek Dietrich pumping iron. I bet you we could find a photo of that, or Lorenzen. Derek. How do you spell Dietrich? And then images. Oh, yeah. We're going to have it already. Yo, they were lifting weights in the dugout. And then they were like, obviously they're doing some sort of muscular handshake here. What the fudge? I didn't want to do that. Anyway, well, come on. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to your website. No, I'm not going to your website. Well, there's Derek Dietrich, and Lorenzen's bigger than him. There's Lorenzen with weights in the dugout back in the day. So this was a whole thing. Kind of funny, and they did go sleeveless. We might have the video of it here. Yes. Oh, we're going to watch an ad for 6 seconds. Ugh. It's like my son when he's watching his truck shows. Dad, ad. Oh, he's pumping on the easy curl bar. Oh, and then going to Dietrich, who I think was extremely greased up as well. I do remember Dietrich at one point just decided, F it, I'm pimping everything. And people were very upset when he would go off at the plate. But oh, and then there's Puig. Oh, Puig's the mature one now. He says, no, we have a game to play. Or something like that. All right. Let me go to the solo shot for a sec, because I have no idea what's going on. Thanks. I love your name, by the way. Appreciate it. Let him hit in cores. Love that. Why not? Mike Hampton style. Just bang the ball around. Pitch and hit. Why not? Although you probably get pretty tired. Rockies are trying. We all know we like that. Everybody keeps pumping this Luis Arraez to the Rockies. We keep looking. We keep looking on the internets. I proposed Tampa the other day. People said no. Oh, who's going to sit? Aranda or Yandy? I'm like, I don't know, but it feels like the Rays are always mixing and matching. But we couldn't figure out Arraez. The Rockies make some sense. I don't know if that happens. So we'll see. Who do you personally think is the sneakiest team in the league in regard to talent? Man, that's a pretty big question. Let me think about that for a sec. Time to spam the gyro slider, but I also think the mix of Lorenzen's going to help. Let me go back to talking about that again for a sec. I mean, you see the mix. He's got a couple gyro pitches. Pitches some heavy gyro. The cutter and the slider, you're going to see a lot of those. Probably going to try to read the barrels with the sinkers and the four seams and the changeups. He's also got a sweeper and a curveball. Who knows? He's not throwing very hard, but it's not slow either. I mean, 93.9 on the 4 is not bad. Is he who? What's his deal like righty lefty? Wait. Undo that. What did I just do? No. Okay, hold on. Handedness. So versus righties, sinker's the primary, but it's still kitchen sink. Versus lefties, four seam changeup, and then it's kitchen sink. Four seam changeup, curveball. Anyway, I'm curious about that, but actually, Statcast liked him in 1920 quite a bit. Hates him now. Although he's gotten better. I mean, especially the walk rate, that's something that's going to have to be good again this year. 76th percentile walks. Big thing about cores is like it just forces your fundamentals to be that much better if you're going to survive. But I also think like he might just be have the right level of toughness to just grind it out there and just keep pitching and end up putting up a lot of innings and being really valuable despite whatever the ERA might be. I just saw a TikTok of that 2019 Reds team, funniest 70-win team ever. Yeah, everybody's agreeing. Greatest 70-win team of all time. Derek Dietrich was the best hitter for 4 days. Come on. I mean, the scariest one, I've talked about this on the stream, was Jonathan Broxton, who was just felt so big. I was like, man, I don't want to mess with this dude. He's too big. But I don't know. I faced Kershaw. He threw me a curveball. I thought it was going to the backstop. It was a strike. You know, faced some good guys. Dan Herron, I thought I was going to get a hit off of, but I just didn't. Randomly, Carlos Silva was pretty nasty with sinker. I don't know. There's some stuff. Nothing much. All right. Sneakiest team. We got to go back to answering this question real quick. Sneakiest talent team. Sneakiest talent team. All right, let me just quickly look. So sneaky would mean like a non-playoff team, probably like an up-and-coming team that you don't realize is that talented. We've talked a ton about the A's. It could be them, but I don't know how sneaky it is anymore, and I don't know if they have enough pitching. I mean, it might be one of these NL Central teams, to be honest with you. I would have probably told you the Nationals not that long ago, but they don't have enough pitching at all. I just really like James Wood. Marlins, maybe in a way, but I don't know. I mean, I'm really enamored a bit with the Pirates and Reds pitching staffs. Pirates and Reds starting pitching is pretty exceptional, and the Reds. I mean, I know they made the postseason last year, but even in the offense group, Ellie De La Cruz is like a super duper star. That was a crazy stutter right there, but super duper star in terms of talent. So they have that. I guess the others are a bit more underwhelming. McLean at one point people were really high on. Noel V. Marti, same. But I haven't really seen anything dynamic yet. What you guys saying about this in the chat? Is Oakland sneaky? I don't know if it's sneaky anymore. I think I put them over the Reds now, though. Actually, especially that offense, it's crazy. Pirates may surprise people. I don't think. I still think they're gonna stink. Personally, I know they've done some things offensively. Thank God. Lau, O'Hearn. I still think they're way. I just don't think they're good enough. I do like their starting staff. I think that this bullpen is. It's like you need like a very good outcome. They have some arm talent there, but I don't know. I'm still not. I still don't think they're there yet. They need more hitting. Pirates should get Geno Suarez. Pirates need to make more moves. You guys are 100% right. The Rocks DFA Toglia. So first base is open. Well, right now it's actually Troy Johnston, who just came over from the Marlins. I'm actually going to have him on Friday. He's got an interesting little story. He's down there in winter ball, also playing for the Toros. So I'm going to have him on for a couple minutes on Friday. I thought he'd be a fun guy to talk to, actually. But yeah, he's over there right now. I do think a rise makes a lot of sense, but I still don't see it happening, honestly. Pirates have avoided a PA grievance. That is all. Agreed. They really haven't. I don't think they've totally changed their outcome. I'll believe it when I see it. And I think Chandler's good, but I don't think he's like going to be a revelation this year. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm not as high on him as some of the others. Any connections? Anyone in the new Nats front office? I mean, I've met Paul a few times, Taboni, and I mean, I know Grayson, who's now over there as a pitching coordinator. But that's it. I mean, and I know some coaching staff people, Doolittle and Gerardo Parra, really well, for what that's worth. And some of the players, like I know Trevor Williams, obviously well, Josiah Gray, a couple people, but I don't know. I've always been curious about the Nats over the years. Always enjoyed playing there, oddly. Subway. That was me many times in my life. Jeff Paston once compared Bubba Chandler to Paul Skeens. I mean, I just think he might be really good. I wasn't 100% sold on him watching him this year, but I know he finished really well. When we looked at him on the prospect list, and I noted that he did finish really, really well. He throws a ton of strikes, Bubba Chandler, but I don't know. I mean, Paul Skeens is a 1 of 1 at this point, right? Yeah, and Grayson Crawford, great guy from the outside. Yeah, and he was great in AAA. Really worked really well with those Mets guys. He's the man. Ooh, here's a question. So we'll pivot. I will pivot for a second and answer this from the chat. Go to minor league food stop on the road. So okay, so what categories are we talking here? Like fast food, like you stop at the bus stop, at the truck stop, or at the rest stop, and then everybody's got 30 minutes to get off and get on. Well, at that point in my life, pie in the sky would be, if from the fast food options at that point in my life, would have been like Taco Bell. But I've always been a Wendy's or Mickey D's as well. Hate Burger King. If we're in the West Coast, Obviously, I'm hoping for an In-N-Out, but I like Jack in the Box as well. Over time, it evolved more to Chick-fil-A. Although, really, if I can get what's it called? Raising Cane's now, that would be really ideal. Raising Cane's is the one that I'll break all my eating rules for now, for whatever reason. Oh, my wife's asking how long I'm going to be on the show. That's not a good sign for us. How long should I be on for? Let me know in the chat. I know you're listening. Did I see what Perry Benazian said? About a record jump. Yeah, I did see that actually in the Discord. He mentioned that the Angels had made a jump and expected another jump. I mean, what's it? What else? I mean, I get it. People are mad about the quote. I don't know what else. I don't know what he's supposed to say. He's up against it right now. He needs to show. He needs to set the bar. In a reachable place for himself if he wants to keep doing this. I think if he just says, we're going to win the division, you're setting yourself up for failure. So he's trying to make a half measure, but maybe you should be a little more brash here and just, I don't know. He definitely tends to come across a bit tone deaf at times to his fan base. I would say that, but yeah, 72 and 90. It went from last to last, which was one of the comments in the Discord, which I totally agree with. But yeah, another jump to 80 wins? Like that's not going to cut it either. Ah, man. Let me look at the Rockies again, as we were just looking at Lorenzen now, who's going to be in this rotation. Oh yeah, he's already updated. Wow, that was fast. Yeah, so they booted Senza out of here on the thing. All right, Oak won't sleep without me. All right, I'm going to give it another 15, Brett, and then I'll probably call it right there. I mean, it's not like it's a huge turnout tonight anyway. Sorry, folks. Friday will be better, I'm sure. Hopefully more stuff happens. Just kind of a double down on strategy that hasn't worked so far. Yeah, I mean, they just keep going with these. Now they went like full reclamation. I'm pretty sure. I don't actually have any information. I haven't talked to him in a while, but you keep hearing the rumor that Nolan Arenado's going to end up over there too. So it's like, yeah, they're just going to have a completely imported team, all with a chip on their shoulder, which I don't hate. But yeah, it's just a weird predicament, man. A very, very much a 1-year predicament. And yeah, T-Bell. I mean, it's just a classic. I mean, I still eat it once or twice a year. And then I regret it later, but I'm so happy in the moment. So happy in the moment. As a kid, my dad would always, when my mom would be busy or something, my dad would always say, "Hey, you want to go make a run for the border?" Those are some good memories. Back in the day when the menu was like 39-cent menu, 49-cent menu, 59-cent menu, etc. I mean, now it's a little different. Also, we lived on Taco Bell at times in Memphis in the minors and in Florida with all my roommates back in the day, Alan Craig, John Jay, Daniel Descalzo, Jim Rappaport, all my guys, Shane Robinson. We lived on that shit. So, I don't know. Couldn't do it now. They're both in bed with me. You have time. Do you think Dolander can still reach his ceiling considering some of the voices that were in his ear in the old Rockies regime? Yes, 100% yes. It's too early to give up on this dude. Chase Dolander, 24 years old. ERA was great on the road, horseshit at home. We looked at him a little bit. It's really hard to honestly, Coors Field skews so much of what it's going to show on these because again, it's all an aggregate. So as many innings as he pitched at home, it really pulls his metrics away from really what they are when if you're comparing apples to apples with another player. But I mean, yeah, I mean, dude, he got one run through the league. He got absolutely bamboozled at home. But he did fine on the road, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's got good stuff. I don't know. One issue with him, I'm not sure about the deception piece, but raw stuff, he's got Garrett Cole stuff. I mean, the beginnings of it, while he's learning how to develop it, unfortunately, he's in an absolutely horrendous environment to figure it out, but it's not his fault. I mean, he has to deal with what he's got. Home road, game level. I mean, this says it all. 2-6 at home with a 9.98. What a talk about a freaking nightmare. And then on the road, I mean, that's a very playable 10 starts with a 3.46. Yeah, he went 0-6, but he did his part. 52 innings, only 37 hits. 1.173 whip. Like, that's like legitimately good. Maybe not as much strikeouts yet because he's learning how to like get his strikeouts. That's going to be a thing. But my God, at home, he got decimated. Decimated. Only 35 strikeouts in 46 innings and 66 hits. He probably never wants to go back ever again, but I do think maybe having a guy like Lorenzen around will really help. But he's got good shit. So I truly, I think other teams would be salivating and they would love for the Rockies to give up on him. But they have a whole new regime now. I know Matt Daniels is the new director of pitching. Like, this is going to get better. This is going to get better for sure. $5 could buy a feast back in the day. Yeah, the wife has still never had the Taco Bell, but you're not a huge Mexican person, but I'm telling you, kid, it's good. Original Mexican pizza has never been built. I used to like the tostadas too. The tostadas were freaking great. I'm glad the Rockies front office will put a stop. Yep, they will. Trae Young to the Wizards. Poor Wizards. I mean, ugh. There's nothing. I'm not a fan of anything in that trade. I'm a Knicks fan, so I'm very anti-Trae Young. Plus, he can't play any defense. They hunt him all day long. Anyway, that's enough for the basketball talk. I've run Sims on out of the park, and every single time Dollander gets shelled at Coors. Yeah, he's doomed. Not doomed, but I'm just saying his numbers off of that and in the simulation are doomed. Yeah, the splits were insane. It is so good though, Brett. I know that you don't like it, but it's so good. So good. It's just like, look, there are some players in sports and pro sports and in basketball, this is more important than anything else, right? I follow all the sports, but basketball, because I'm such a big Knicks fan, it's the one that I care about. You know, after baseball, it's up there. Like, I don't really watch football. I watch soccer a little bit, obviously, but basketball. And here's the thing, like, especially with the double apron rules, you can only pay like so many people so much money. So Trae Young's getting paid like a star, like a superstar. Like, he's getting paid a lot of money. But you can't win with him. He can't play any defense. He's a one-trick pony. His teammates don't like to play with him. So it's like, yeah, it's great how good he is offensively at times. But like, that's the worst kind of thing to have on your team, an expensive problem. So, yes, poor Wizards. All right. Here we go. So bad it's good? No, so good it's so good and it has some small drawbacks, Brad. But that's it. Brandon Little becomes a Cy Young contender in my Colorado Sims because of it. Interesting. I appreciate it. My wife just asked me why I'm talking basketball. Well, somebody put it in the chat, so I just had one quick thing to say about that real quick. Oh, yeah, I saw your order. I actually saw your order. I'll ship it tomorrow. It's whenever I do it. Usually I'm like one day, but I've been at times in the holiday season. It's been tough, and today I was never home. So tomorrow I will ship it out. We will ship it out tomorrow. Sorry about that, Zach. We'll get it right out to you. I just don't love it. And also, like, I'm too busy on the weekends with the fam. Like, it's not like back in the day I can just like veg all day on the couch. So yeah, I just don't love it anymore. I just don't. I mean, obviously I was a Giants fan, so. Are there any baseball player archetypes where teammates hate to play with? High walk guys for position players? I think everybody has their own pet peeves. Usually it's something that's like an opposite style of their own game. Like, I know like guys who like to like are identify as like having great stuff and wipe out strikeout pitchers, they get annoyed by contact managing pitchers, or vice versa at times. Or like, you know, if you're a really good contact hitter, you get annoyed at the batter who hits 205 with a lot of home runs and walks. So I think there's a lot of bias built in. I had certain things I didn't like to watch. Like, I don't like players that on base percentage is their game, but then they can't run at all. I just feel like, what's the point? So anyway, yeah, that's one of my opinions on that. Yep, see, the wife, it'll go out tomorrow. Does Brett have a go-to fast food? Probably Mickey D's. I'm gonna say it. She could write. You like Mickey D's though, right? She definitely doesn't like Mexican fast food. No chance. Also, she's a Domino's girl too. She'll eat that. Oh, we've talked about this before. He is a great contact manager who's also outstanding in that he gets a lot of ground balls and he knows how to get pop-ups and ground balls, and he can hold back his slider just enough now where he can get big strikeouts when he needs it. He owns lefties. Also, he's one of the simply top 2 or 3 best guys at holding runners on in the whole league. So his ground balls play up because they're double plays because nobody ever steals. Plus he gets extra outs on the base paths. That's why he's good. It's delicate. It could fall apart really fast, but he does a lot of the fundamental stuff really well that other people aren't good at. So that's my answer for David Peterson. Love Zach Gallen. He's still a free agent. Maybe we can do a little bit of a look at the last couple free agents. I mean, again, we don't do rumors, but I love to look at the remaining I want to look at the remaining guys a little bit at the top of the list. One of them is Zach Gallen. Of the pitchers that are remaining, let me select by pitchers. So Ranger Suarez, Framber Valdez, so I feel like are attached because of this like lefty situation. Obviously, they're both a little different, but whatever. And then there's a bunch of vets in that solid second tier. I would say Gallen should be above that tier, personally. I know he had a weird year. He had a wonky year, Mr. Zach Gallen. But I've been a big fan of him. It sucks that he has the qualifying offer attached to him. But I'm a big fan of him for a lot of reasons. Number one, command, durability, innings. Has all of those. Very intelligent pitcher, but also has pretty good stuff. I like his curveball an awful lot. I also like his changeup an awful lot. His fastball has an interesting shape to it. I think this is a little bit of a fluky season he just went through, and yet he still threw 192 innings with an identical whip to the year prior where he had 1.2 runs lower ERA. So I think you're kind of getting like a number 2 pitcher here. I know that the ERA is scary last year, but I think that's a fluke. I think we're going to look back on his season, especially through this stretch of time. He's going to be 30 or 31 this year. I think he's good. I think he's a very good pitcher. I don't really care too much about the ERA. I'm not even that worried about the underlying metrics. For a starter, it's not like they're bottom of the barrel. Like, they're not that impressive, but they're not bottom of the barrel too. And we looked at some of his underlying stuff, velocity, shape. I mean, there's some small slippage here and there, but I think he bounces back from this. I'm a believer in the human here. I think he's a very, very good pitcher. And I don't think that he stays down for long. I really don't. He had a hard time this year kind of getting beat up in the middle of the plate. And I think ultimately that probably was the biggest change. He just got hit a little harder in the middle of the plate this year. So maybe getting a little predictable. Especially maybe on first pitches. I don't know. I don't have the data on that specifically, but man, 66% first pitch strike is pretty darn high. So maybe he got clipped a little bit with some aggressive hitters in some moments, and it skewed some things. Yeah, chase rate wasn't as high. That hurts a little bit. So that ultimately probably leads to the whiff rate being a little bit lower. Yeah, and the barrels were there. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he's probably a very, very, very close to the same guy. Maybe not as elite as he was at the very beginning, but I don't think he's a 35th percentile ex-WOBA guy either. I think he'll be back above average next year or close to it. And I love the innings. So I'm a fan of him. I've always been a fan of him. I think this might be a real concern. 250-ish innings in that World Series run. I don't know if that's true, but he threw a ton of innings in that World Series run. And, we just don't have a lot of data about what that does to a player. Yeah, 210 plus he threw a crap load in the postseason, right? I guess we could find out exactly how many. I'm getting a little worried. I'm not worried, but I think if I was one of Framber or Suarez, I might be getting a little worried a little bit because just because I'm starting to wonder who's going to be the teams. I think it's one thing to be a really talented player. It's another thing to actually have a market develop for you where there's like a number of teams getting after it for you. So this is all the same year. He threw 33 and 2/3. Yeah. So 243 and 2/3 is a lot of freaking pitching in modern baseball. You just don't see that. And then, it's crazy because you pitch that extra month, you turn around and you got to come right back and do it again. So in a very small amount of time, he threw an awful lot. I mean, I still think there's good pitchers out here. Bassett, obviously Suarez and Valdez are both good pitchers. We've talked about them at length, particularly Suarez and the lack of velocity all of a sudden. I mean, he's basically almost under 90 now on average. Verlander, we don't know what's going to happen there. Nick Martinez, I think, is an interesting candidate for some people. Gio's another kind of an innings eater at this point. He's not as good as Gallen in my mind, but he's an innings eater. There's some upside there. We've seen it, but you just know it's not probably as consistent as you'd want for what he'd want to be paid. I don't know. That's an interesting one. I think Framber gets Snelled. I'm kind of sensing that too. Teams don't seem to be lining up, but again, I don't know, and nobody really knows. I'm sure there's been a lot more chatter behind the scenes than we're even close to privy to. I did think it was interesting that they brought him to the winter meetings and tried to parade him around and kind of make sure that people thought, there's some personality stuff there. I think that they tried to get ahead of. So I thought that was an interesting thing to do. You don't see a lot of people doing that. I feel like Bo is going to end up with a surprise team. Would love it if it was the Royals. I mean, you can see the Royals spending this kind of money. I don't know. Here's the batters. So there's a ton of big-time batters left, right? Belly, Tucker, Bichette, Bregman. That was big four. But then there's also Gino, obviously with a ton of home runs. Bader, who I think is a really good player, but he's looking to play every day. He's probably going through hell right now. Sometimes it's like almost a harder deal sometimes when you feel like you did everything right to prove to the market like you're a great guy to sign for big, and you're licking your chops, but then the market's like, we don't buy into it. And then you're just like, well, so I'm like having a harder time getting the offers because you guys don't buy into like a good performance that I actually had. Sometimes I think that's tough mentally. I don't know if that's happening or not, but Bader signed pretty quick the other couple years. For sure. Hayes, Ozuna is another guy with sneaky power. We'll see what happens there. And then there's some other depth type names, but really there's a lot of names. So we'll see. Bo is not going to get the 25-30. He would as a shortstop because no teams need a shortstop. He's played and will get paid like a second baseman. I agree. I think he's a second baseman. I would not have him play shortstop for my team at this moment. Can you filter guys who aren't signed? Can you? Signing status, yeah. Unsigned. There you go. Sorry about that. What else we got here in the chat? Nick Martinez to the Yankees is a fit for me. Can fill in the rotation until Rodon or Cole then move to the pen down the stretch. Yeah. And that, honestly, that's something that they think about a lot. I think they might have Yarbrough starting at the beginning of this year, too. The timeline on Cole and Rodon is important because I think they need a little time to get back clicking on all cylinders, and the Yankees need to have a good record through the time without them, right? So yeah, it is important. You can lose the division in April. Probably can't win it, but you could lose it in April for sure. Yeah. Yep. The Snell, getting Snelled, that did work out for him in the long run. I don't think he'll quite get Bauered. Oh, Nathan's. Yeah, Nathan's. Billy, you're onto it. We love Nathan's in general, especially out in Coney Island at the OG Nathan's with the hot dogs. And I think they have really good fries too. They're different, but I like them. I think Bo gets something like the Dansby contract. I have no idea. No freaking idea. He's gonna make a lineup a lot better though, I'll tell you that. The kid can hit. Sorry. I doubt Dodgers are in on Tucker. Yeah, I mean it's been reported a little bit. Mets, obviously Blue Jays, Dodgers. Who knows on Tuck? Who knows? Oh yeah, 3 for 105. That's a big AAV. I don't think Framber gets that high. Nah, he'll get an AB. He kind of sneaky has raked the last few years. I mean, I know last year wasn't as good. It's still a 755 OPS. Like it's bad, but he didn't fall off a cliff with the 83 x WOBA. I know he's older and he only DHs, but look at the previous 2 years. I mean, those are 9 back-to-back 900 OPS seasons. So regardless of everything, baggage, no baggage, age, no position, he's only 1 year removed from doing that. And honestly, the under the hood is not that bad. I wonder what really changed. It's amazing how, so the max EV and the EV, he just wasn't hitting the ball as hard all of a sudden. That could be an age-related thing. That could get in the way. Ks are about the same, but not hitting the ball as hard. Whiff rate obviously oddly got better, and so did chase rate. Speed's like immaterial at this point. Bat speed got worse, swing length got better, but I think he can't afford to lose the bat speed. So if I'm him, I'm probably retraining bat speed and trying to recoup some of that. So I don't know. Maybe if he can bounce back physically a little bit, it's like right in front of him. But maybe this is the start of the maybe the start of the age like decline. I don't have any sources, and I think just the nature of baseball is it's kind of random. Like everybody's working on different things, and the market kind of materializes one player at a time. So hopefully just more stuff trickles in. I watched Foul Territory today where they mentioned the big market teams are up against the cap, so a big free agent will cost almost double to them. Yeah, so like because the different levels of the tax, you can pay like 90%, so like almost $1 on $1. So I think that's the case for like the Blue Jays, what I was reading. So it's like you're gonna spend 35 mil on him. It's really like 60, which is crazy. But again, they have the money. But it's definitely it's a soft cap, but it's something. But again, like to us, it's just so I don't know. Something about the concept of paying a penalty works psychologically, even if you have the money. And the Dodgers do it as well if they think that the player's worth it. And that's like always been the argument, I think, from the people that were okay with this system getting put in, even on the player side, was just like they can afford it. But a lot of teams don't. I think there's a psychological factor of going over a thing and getting a penalty and levied on you. Yeah, and the Dodgers, it might even be higher. This could be correct. So that's amazing. And all that money that goes over it will help fund people's retirement accounts, like in the central, and then I think some of the money gets shared in other ways. But I don't know, very fascinating stuff. So anyway, that was Ozuna. I was curious to look. I think somebody's going to benefit by signing him with their lineup. I don't know what it's going to take or what the fit is, but I think he's another interesting one. I'm definitely starting to run out of gas here. We just started getting more people in the chat too, but I'm pretty tired. I don't really have any idea. I'm not on the inside of this. I used to be involved with things back in the day, but I have no real feel for this. I think that there's a lot of factors at work here. I'm optimistic that they won't miss games, just because I think the sport's in a great place. So I'm optimistic from that end. But In terms of like how dug in either side's going to be or what some of the factors are internally with each side, I think that's an evolving situation always. And I think a lot of the changes in the game help drive a lot of that too. So it's hard to tell. Um, I think it's better than rewarding failure one for one, right? Like if you're the worst team, you automatically get the first pick. I've never believed in that in any sport. Me personally, I think the lotteries are a step in the right direction, but I don't see why it's just not totally random. Like, why can't a good team, I mean, have a chance at a great pick? And if you're going to do some sort of rewarding system, why are you rewarding a team for being awful, especially if they're awful year on end? Um, I thought it was kind of despicable, but also smart. Like the whole process thing with the Philadelphia 76ers back in the day. And obviously it's a little different in NBA. Now I'm back talking about the NBA again, just because, one player can change your entire franchise much more than in baseball. But in general, I'm not a big fan of like rewarding losing. So I would rather just have it overall random, just a full, full random ping pong balls. And that's the order that it goes in for me personally. I don't think Goldschmidt's done. I think he wants to keep playing. We'll see what fit he's got. Imagine the Dodgers getting back-to-back first picks. I mean, people would say it was rigged or whatever, but that's how I feel about it. Good teams get that chance at a good pick by trading their good players away 2 to 3 years later for teams' prospects. Yeah, that's true. I do wish there was more draft pick trading. That would be fun. That would be really fun. I just think it's a commodity, it's an asset, so why not use it, you know? All right. Did anything else happen? I mean, not really. Ooh. Ooh, get off of me. Go away. What was that? That's not a good sign. I'm gonna have to clear my cash out or something here. Yeah, oh, we're in trouble. We're gonna have to do some things. All right, that's fine. Rays, I feel like would own all the picks. Like who would be the Oklahoma City Thunder Sam Presti of the MLB, just hoarding draft picks and then having them all hit at the same time. That would be an interesting thing that could happen. All right, I'm wrapping up. I am. I am. I am. There's nothing else really to talk about. We could go over a million different things, obviously, in the chat. But it's 10:30. I got to get up in the morning. I got to do things. The kids need to. One of my daughters needs me, so it's fine. And thanks for hanging with me, everybody, today. I know that probably didn't have the most to talk about, but we did take a long look at Owen Casey. So now, when you watch him play at the beginning of this year, you'll have a little bit of a you've taken a little bit of a crash course in what he has to offer. So that's interesting, and we'll see how Cabrera plays if he stays healthy. How much of a great move this was for the Cubs? Was it? We'll see. In the moment, do I like it? Yeah, I do. I really do. 3 years of control. He's different than their other pitchers. I think the Cubs now have definitely the best team in the division overall. I like what they've done. I think if they did one more move, they could really be a contender. Obviously, the Dodgers still exist, but they could be a contender. So anyway, thanks so much. And this is totally right. This is totally right. Something will happen quick. And I'll see you guys on Friday. We're going to have Troy Johnston on a little bit. We'll talk about his journey a little bit. Up at the Marlins for the first time last year. Currently with the Rockies. Currently in winter ball. Going into that round robin. Oh, before I go, I should throw up this one just because I downloaded it, so I might as well. This is where we're at currently. So the semifinal matchup is set in the Mexican League. Well, in one of the divisions of the Mexican League. Go away. Go away, you. Go away. Go away. Go away. I can't do it. I'm gonna hit. Okay. And anyway, I don't think anything's changed anywhere else. The records have changed a little bit here. Aguilas has to chase down Escogido or Toros to get into the final series, and there's still some more games to go. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at. So we'll catch up on that. These games are actually all available on the MLB app on MLB.tv. So you can go check them out there. And I think we're definitely doing more coverage once we get into the final series because those are pretty electric. All right, see you guys. Thanks for saying bye to the pup. Good night. Thank you guys. See you on Friday. Adios.